I think we should talk about the analogy that we were talking about before the game. So you said,
it's just so on a group chat. My family someone sent out a tweet. It said, "Can someone explain what Shohei Ohtani did in golf terms?" And then someone replied, like hitting a 63 at Oakmont, playing 12 holes righty and 6 holes lefty. That's pretty accurate, right? Of course, that absolutely, undressed the best golfers in the world this year at the U.S. Open. I think it was. Just made them look all like casual golf players. And what Ohtani did in relation to that would be to shoot 20 shots better than everyone and playing righty and lefty, essentially. Right. Yeah, it's crazy what he's doing. Best to ever do it, probably. Right?
Let me ask you a question for you specifically, because I always hear people say he's the most talented player ever. And yes, obviously the guy's a freak, but I think they do a little disservice to his routine and his preparation and all that off the field stuff. Right. You are someone who, I can tell from talking to you, take that stuff probably more serious than most. You think about it a lot. Just watching him when he's not on the field, the preparation stuff to do what he does. Right. What do someone like you take from his routine and his preparation to get ready to play?
Yeah. Going back to choices, he doesn't really have a choice, right? To be that elite at pitching and hitting, you have to take care of your body. You don't really have another choice. From what I've heard, he is insane about his recovery. I mean, as soon as he steps off the field, he's focused on whatever's whatever's right to get him ready for the next day, essentially, because he's got to hit, and then the next day, the next few days after that, he's got to pitch. So that is different from me because what I'm doing is different. So, there's a lot. I mean, at this level, everyone's really good at, taking care of themselves and preparing, doing that's what they have to do. That's like the baseline. Right. And then, and then each player, maybe does their version, maybe they're the best at what they do in their own version, right? Like if he's the 8th inning guy or 9th inning guy or longer, everyone can be the best at one thing because there's so many different ways to impact the game. And, for me, it's, being able to jump back and forth, from the rotation to the bullpen. And for him, it's at a much higher level of starting and playing every day. But, a lot of players have their, different techniques and can be the best at how they prepare themselves for the next game.
So we've talked about Yamamoto, we've talked about Sasaki, we've talked about Ohtani. Obviously, there's an obvious through line there in terms of Japanese players, and we've talked about this a lot before, that Japanese baseball is here to stay. But it feels like, as it relates to the game, the preparation stuff, it feels like there's rightfully now a deeper appreciation for how baseball over there and guys over there have looked at their body and thought about mobility and have thought about these things. Because if you look at both those guys' routines, for example, they're a little bit different than the traditional stuff. They seem to be a little more mobility focused,
right?
Not as much like strength. It's not that they're not strong and explosive, because they are. You look at Ohtani up there; he's not strong at all.
I think
right?
He's adapted to more of a American style.
In what sense?
Of like weight training.
Yep.
Where you look at Yamamoto, who looks like he's probably stayed more of the mobility stuff. But a lot of guys like Darvish, adopted the more American style. Even when he was over there in Japan, he would, work out, even though that's not what, that wasn't a focus for them back in the day. But he knew he wanted to play in this league. So he started training himself and doing more of an American style off-season working out throughout the season. So there are some guys that do both, but yeah, Japanese is more of like a mobility, stretching, running. They run like crazy over there. It's a crime.
A little bit of a shock when you got there.
It's a crime. They run like hell.
So it's interesting because it feels like what we're seeing is that, and especially with Ohtani, it's like where both cultures are borrowing like the best portions of their preparation stuff, whether it be maybe on the American side, the strength and explosion side, and maybe on the Japanese side, more of the mobility based, the mechanical fluidity, javelin throwing based stuff. And it feels like that's why I think baseball's at such a cool moment, because it's truly globalized in a way that I think it's never been this globalized before, especially having superstars come from over there. Also it makes that easier, right? It makes that more viable. And I think we're going to see a lot of kids of a younger generation and younger baseball players benefiting from the benefits of both those kind of philosophies of how to look at things. I think today's baseball is going to influence a lot of like this next generation that's going to adapt, both of those things.